Hey, good morning, good evening, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Power Platform connectors, question and answers. The way I'm structuring this session is first I will have a question followed up by answer. Let's get started. What is a connector in Power Platform? A connector is a proxy or a wrapper around API that allows the Power Platform to communicate with various services, both within and outside of the Microsoft ecosystem. Question: how many types of connectors are available in Power Platform? There are broadly two types. One, standard connectors, and another, premium connectors. Question: what is the standard connector? Standard connectors are available to use without any additional cost and includes services like Office 365, SharePoint, and OneDrive. What is a premium connector? A premium connector requires additional licensing and provide access to services such as Salesforce, SQL Server, Azure services, AWS, blah blah blah. Question: how do you add a connector to a Power App? You can add connector to the Power App by navigating to the Data tab in the App Builder, selecting Add Data, and then choosing the desired connector. Syntax: go to the portal, Power Platform Maker portal. In that, go to the Data tab and Add Data, choose Connector. Question: can custom connectors be created in the Power App? Yes, custom connectors can be created. As we know, a connector is nothing but a wrapper around the API. There will be a lot of custom applications that may expose their data through APIs but may not be having connected to the Power Platform. So as a Power Platform advanced developer or senior developer, can they can write a custom connector. Question: what is the required information to create a custom connector? To create a custom connector, you need the API endpoint details and authentication information. Syntax is API endpoint plus authentication details. Question: how do you authenticate a connector? Connectors can be authenticated using various methods, API keys, OAuth, and other custom authentication mechanisms. In some scenarios, I saw that connecting to a third-party solution using the custom connector, just pass the username and password. There are different connectors which require standard OAuth based also, right? Next question: can connectors be shared between users? Yes, connectors can be shared between the users by sharing the app or the flow that uses the connector. Question: how do you manage connector permissions? Permissions are managed through Power Platform admin page. Admin page is the centralized way to manage permissions and roles and all those things at the environment level. Question: can connectors be used in Power Automate flows? Yes, connectors are fundamental part of Power Automate, allowing the workflows to connect to various services and automate tasks. Syntax is go to the Power Automate flows and connectors. Question: what is the difference between a connection and connector? A connector is the interface to an external service, while a connection is an instance of the connector. You can think of a car, right? A car is like a abstract thing, and if you say a Ford car or a Bench car, it's a instance of the car, like that. A connector is an interface, a connection is the instance. Question: how do you troubleshoot connector issues? This can be troubleshoot by checking the connection statuses, reviewing the error messages, and referring to the connector documentation. Question: what is the purpose of SQL Server connector? SQL Server connector allows you to connect to the SQL Server database to perform actions such as querying, inserting, updating, and deleting the data. Question: can you use connectors with Power Virtual Agents? Now, Power Virtual Agents are called Microsoft Copilot. Yes, connectors can be used with the Power Virtual Agents. Next question: what is HTTP connector? The HTTP connector allows you to make HTTP requests to web services, enabling integration with APIs that are not covered by other connectors. Question: can you limit access to certain connectors while you are in the same environment? Yes, using the DLP you can do that. What is the shared point connector used for? The shared point connector allows you to connect to the SharePoint sites. Question: how do you refresh connection? You, you can go to the uh, UI data tab connection and you say refresh, then the connection will be refreshed. These were, in my experience it was required. Sometimes the connection refresh didn't happen, though you can see, the Power App is able to connect to the database, but sometimes the data was cached or unable to refresh during that time. That happens very rarely. That happened to me, once or twice. So went to the data tab connection and refreshed the connection, then it started flowing as smoothly as possible. That concludes the Power Platform connectors. Thanks for listening to me. Looking forward to see you in my next video. Bye.